Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thanks.
From all of us three, plus the people behind the scenes to you.
Wait, can we all do our best ho, 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 but you got to try and sound like Santa Claus?
Ho, ho, ho.
That was a lot better than I expected.
I was,
right.
okay.
There you go.
You.
You.
That was good. A little older.
That was, yeah,
Yeah, a little more
a little
mature.
older, yeah, okay.
Michael Jackson is Santa Claus. If you guys and gals are looking for car parts, please be sure to mod your car at MartiniWorks.com. And if you're looking to get some financed car parts and you want to make sure that you don't accidentally get something that you shouldn't, you can actually do that at MartiniWorks.com as well. We only work with the partners that we trust and we care about. So Catapult and Affirma are our top two that we use. So whether you're looking for a lease program or something that has a 0% financing offer, you can get both of those at MartiniWorks.com.
Sure can.
And next up, we're talking about our favorite car mods. Obviously, it's holidays, so we're all looking for stuff that we probably should have bought in November, realistically, but we didn't.
Well, now I got Christmas money. Not yet. It's not after Christmas. I don't got it.
With inflation, Christmas money better be buku big. Because
Dang.
if it's not buku big and your grandma's giving you $20, that's like $4 in today's.
Calling out grandma.
Well, you know, Gma used
Grandma's going through it too, all right?
Gma
Yeah,
used to
my
give
grandma's
me.
dead.
Okay. This doesn't have to be about you. Gma used to give me $20, and then I think when we got a little bit older, that got upped.
Damn.
Well,
You
that's
ever-
sweet.
what was the highest amount of money you've ever gotten in a Christmas card? Can we be honest about it?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to be honest about it. One time, my poor grandma, sweet, she's just a sweetheart, but me and my dad could not hold it together because she got me a Christmas card and it said to the best granddaughter in the world. And I opened it and I just looked at my dad and I was pretty young. And he looked at me and he's like, trying not to, like, he's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, we always got peppermints though too, or socks, wool socks.
Good socks.
Nice.
Yeah, good socks.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't.
So never like a dollar value?
No, I definitely did. It probably the most. I think I got two $20 Buffalo Wild Wings gift cards.
Damn.
Damn.
So $40.
Gels?
Damn. Probably a hundo.
Hundo?
Yeah.
Hundo?
Nice.
A Benji.
Benji? Yeah, the most money I've ever gotten in a card was from Becca's parents. It was the first time that I understood that, like, because they had a rule where it's like as you got older, you got a little bit more money. Sometimes less gifts, but more money.
I like that rule.
And I remember, I
it's a
think
good rule.
Mark and Cindy got me like, I think it was like $150. But I was 18 at the time. And I was like, holy shit. I love this family.
You bought a motorcycle.
This family's awesome.
So what car part that's your favorite did you go buy with that $150?
Well, back then, you could buy a car. You
Oh,
know,
I know.
You know, back in my day, you could buy a car with that money. No, I would say,
I mean, you're not wrong, though.
honestly, like the number one thing I have a tendency to make a mistake on as we go into wintertime is assuming that spring is so far away that I don't need to start on anything.
It's
And then turns out,
It's like 90 days away.
yeah, it's literally it's less time from when that car started on fire to grid life than it is from winter to when that car needs to be ready
Don't
for
be saying that.
Riverside.
That's scary.
Which is true. But I would say, I don't know, man. I always love wheels, dude. Wheels are so easy to buy. They're so pretty.
What's your favorite set of wheels?
Like,
All
hands down.
time.
All time?
All time favorite set of wheels. I don't know if we ever asked you that.
Damn.
I feel like I know.
There's so many.
Yeah, there is.
a lot.
I feel like, can I do 2? Is 2 an option? Can 2 please be an option?
No.
Come on.
Life or death.
Desert Island wheels.
Damn, dude.
Put one on the chopping block.
Damn.
I would probably say, like, the RS Watanabes are still, like, my favorite set of wheels of all time. I think it was just like a childhood wheel that I just always saw on the Z, and then they're
They're
stuck around.
iconic.
Yeah, they are.
They're JDM.
But I was going to say the Volk GTCs were going to be a second pick.
Those are good.
I thought you always liked too that wasn't a Work Vossen collab.
Yeah, those ones are sick. I would like to get those on a car eventually, but you got to have more cars. We need more cars.
Yeah.
More cars, Gels. You need an RX-7 up in here so we can put some wheels on it.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Wells,
about
what's your
that.
favorite car mod?
My favorite car mod?
Yeah.
Exhaust. 100%.
Do you have a brand that you always go towards?
I mean, lately it's been Gretty. I've been having really good experience with Gretty parts. They've always fit really well. They're not like super over the top expensive. It seems like they seem to come in just a little under like HKS and like that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But it's always sounded great. I had the Gretty exhaust on my FRS, absolutely loved it. I had the Gretty exhaust on the RX-8. It was nice. It sounded great, but it wasn't like
it would shoot flames
got
too.
huge fireballs out of it. But it wasn't like insanely loud either. I think Gretty does a great job on stuff, and they support a lot of different platforms. So
I'm very happy that like tuner cars, generally speaking, I feel like I can say this, exhausts aren't ridiculously expensive.
yeah, because
I was thinking about this because I was like, I wanted to say on the podcast that I don't think exhaust should be expensive, but
They
then I was
shouldn't.
like, wait a minute, we have European car exhausts that are like 4, 6, 8, 10 grand,
which I don't.
and then I'm
fucking
still like, but
understand.
wait a minute, I'm still not super convinced those need to be
There's
you know
no
that
way.
expensive.
There's no way. It's fucking bent stainless steel. That's all it is, with maybe a little bit of baffling in it.
I just
Like-
don't get why some are more expensive than that. Shouldn't it be
Exactly.
pretty standard across the board?
You'd think, 'cause, like,
Manufacturing process probably drives price, right? The amount of time it takes to actually
Yeah.
build it.
yeah,
But I've seen like the metal tube
No,
bending.
I'm pretty
Because
sure
it's
it's,
like- I mean-
more expensive car, more expensive part rule.
yeah. It
That's
kinda
true.
is that way. Because like for the GTT, for instance, like that HKS exhaust, I'd say like relatively pretty cheap.
It was
that's
like $800.
Not even. It was like like $5.
Yeah, I mean that was easy. It was also
500 or
just a,
600, yeah.
a muffler and
It was the axle back. right?
one
No,
bent
it was
tube.
a catback.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just like a straight shot. I think that it goes into it too. It's like it was two pieces.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
it
I've-
was the front pipe and then the muffler like section.
The 430 was
we look at
19.
the 430. It was 19 fucking pieces for some.
I don't think it needed to be that. That was a little too much, to be completely honest. I think
And
that
it's the shortest
it was like
exhaust here
trying
too,
to-
and it was 19 pieces.
trying to install a fucking spaghetti noodle into an Italian car.
if you guys are wondering why the multi-piece exhaust is so difficult, first off, 3-piece exhaust better than 1-piece exhaust. 19-piece exhaust, super flex. No, it's because everything moves a little bit.
Yeah.
Try it. Try putting something to be symmetrical in the back of a car when there are 19 different points, 38 different points of
Essentially.
potential pivoting.
It was crazy.
I'm not kidding. That shit was wild.
And the ridiculous part was like you couldn't tighten anything down because you did. It was like, okay, now that's locked into place.
Yeah, then everything else.
But everything else needed, like everything needed to move, but also be tight at the same time. It was fucking just killing me.
Understanding what car parts are typically worth it and aren't, and you're buying like hype, is, I think, a very underrated skill. And if you guys and gals are looking for tips on that, I think the most important thing to always keep in mind is look at the entire range of price of like a certain car part, right? And that should usually help you see that. So like we'll take intakes, for example. Intakes can be $120 or like $100, right? With just like a filter, up to, one might argue, $1,000, like the new Z1, right? Well, if you're looking at $1,000, likely you're buying some like brand recognition. You're buying maybe a little bit of hype, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the $300 one or the $200 HKS one is garbage.
Right.
Right. So it's like, how do you know when to spend all of your money and when do you know to save? What do you guys think?
I think that's our job. We got to inform the people.
Yeah.
We got to
Dakota,
get those parts in here and take a look at them. See why this intake is $1,200 or an exhaust is $8,000 fucking dollars.
yeah. Dakota, what do you think?
Yeah, I think some of it is branding. Some of it is you're just getting that Japanese heritage. And I don't know if those are just more expensive because it's like smaller shop,
Yeah.
you know.
But like you said too, I think it does 100% correlate with the price of the car.
Yeah.
Or like the Supra, for instance, like those parts were expensive.
They're
For what
expensive as
fucking reason?
fuck. Yeah, like
Because it was
compared
a
to
new
my
car?
Focus ST to the Supra, the
Yeah.
parts were super expensive from the intake to the exhaust downpipe. Like it was all just like extra.
But I think like sometimes there's like justification for it. Let's take, for instance, wheels.
Okay.
We sell quite a bit of work wheels, and obviously work wheels are more expensive. However, work wheels also have like some of the best, most unique paint colors that you can find in 1-piece or even 2-piece, 3-piece like format. But like all of their wheels are like hand touched, QA checked. Everything is looked over, like rounded, this, that, and the other. Every single wheel that comes out of that factory is coming out of Japan, out of like top QA, and then you have to obviously export it to or import it into America. So it's like I feel like you can kind of justify some of the costs there, right? Because you know
and
that there's more happening.
And you're going from like a $1,200 set of wheels to like a $2,500 set of wheels. Like, it's not like a huge difference. Now, if you're going to like $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, then it's like, okay, what the fuck? And that's what I feel like some of those performance parts are. It's like it's like a 500% increase just because of what you're getting. And I don't know. I feel like work does a fantastic job. The price is 100% justified.
I think there's a lot of people that would say that's why I've seen it way more in the BMW community than anywhere else.
Yeah.
But this huge support of like Alibaba parts in the BMW community, like the non-M community. I've seen this like really start to take off, and it kind of reminds me of like the Plastidip era. You remember the Plastidip era?
I remember it well.
If you talked poorly about Plastidip, or if you even mentioned that you didn't agree with it, or you didn't like it, or it didn't look that good, you were wrong. And they gaslit the ever-living shit out of you on the internet until you apologized. Yeah. Remember those days, Dakota?
Yeah, definitely. there was a huge cult following to Plastidip. I don't know. It's just like when something's cheap and affordable, it appeals to the masses, and a ton of people go and get it because they're like, hey, I put this on and it was cheap. And then they're like, oh, I don't have money. Let me try it. And then, so I think it'll go through a wave, right, with the Alibaba stuff. Everyone's going to try it out because it's cheap and they don't know any better.
And they heard it's not too bad.
Yeah, and then they're going to realize. One thing I've learned when modifying cars is like, generally speaking, too, the more expensive stuff just fits better. It like the cheaper stuff, you might save a few bucks, but my God, you are wrestling it to get half-assed fitment on it. At least like from an exhaust perspective, like you get a cheap exhaust, that thing's gonna fit like ass. But like when on my experience, like I got HKS exhaust for a Supra that aligned all perfectly. The only thing I had trouble with was like the valve, the factory valving. That was kind of weird.
It's the same thing though too. It's like we talk a lot about Japanese brands, but American brands did a really good job too. We've installed a few Borla exhausts.
Borla's been surprisingly good.
We put a Borla on I think it was a GRD6. We put a Borla on a Z one time, and both times it was incredible. Like the packaging was great, the QA was awesome, the mounting points were perfect.
They don't have that like flash to them, I'd say. Like you get like the HKS looks like nice and polished, everything's like coated, like it's like it's like the Borla one, it's just like it's the raw.
It's
more standard.
Yeah, it's more
It's really good.
It sounded really good.
Yeah. So I think sometimes, I know we don't like to hear it, but try to like wipe the preconception that like only Japanese brands are going to have good quality, because there are some good American brands out there, especially in the exhaust and intake space. Like K&N, incredible. Like the instructions, just the fact that the instructions come in English, a lot of times people forget like that's a huge plus. And a lot of times when you get stuff that's like not even in Japanese or English, there's no instructions at all. You just get a box of stuff. That can be super frustrating to do.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about this, especially when we talk about like, the Euro side of things seem to be like more expensive when it comes to aftermarket parts and things like that. There's a lot of Japanese brands out there that have aftermarket support. We're talking about HKS, talking about Greddy, we talked about all those. What are some like European brands like that?
That are more affordable, or?
No, just in general. Like what are like European performance brands?
So,
KW.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ST Suspensions is built off of the back of KW, right? And so KW is an incredible coilover company, probably one of the best for the European crowd. So if you're looking for something that's a great value, I ran ST Suspension on my C5A6, and I loved it. It was super good, and they make it more affordable, and they tell you how they made it more affordable, which I really like. Like if you're buying something from a big brand and they make it cheaper, and they tell you everything is identical and everything is exactly the same, I call bullshit on that. And with ST, they're like, you're not going to get this same quality of like, rust preventative, overcoat, and you're not going to get this, you're not going to get that, but it's half the price. Miltech is an exhaust brand that we've been getting closer to. They do a lot of actually they do all of it in the UK, all in-house, fabricated, designed, R&D, everything, and then they ship it over to the States. They got a warehouse, I think, in Virginia. So that's a big one. EBC is UK.
Gotcha.
Big.
Okay,
big,
so
good
there
brand.
are a decent amount then.
I wonder if there isn't as much like intake, exhaust, like performance parts, because over there, at least I know in Germany, was it the TUV or
TUV?
QV.
Yeah. There's a lot stricter restrictions on modifying your
which is
vehicle.
fair. I was just curious because it's like I knew there had to be something out there. It's just like you never hear that at least in like our world as much, than like the other like the Japanese.
Hey, you know what one of my favorite car mods is?
What's that?
Airlift performance. I'm gonna say it. I don't have air currently, but I put air on 2 of my vehicles, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really unique mod, and anytime like you have air on a vehicle, and then like you're around someone that's not into cars or something, and you use it, it is like a mind-blowing experience.
Blows their mind.
But like too, like installing it for the first time and seeing your car air out for the first time, super cool. Not only that, but it does have a lot of functional purposes too, like being able to take my show car and take it anywhere without worrying about entrances and trailers, anything like that. You just air it up. I think air was a super cool mod and one of my favorites that I did, and I would do it again. I'm not against it by any means. I specifically wanted the Supra on coilovers, just a more performance oriented.
Because you had it on the ST, you also had it on the
GTI, and I did not have any negative experiences with it. I ran it in winter, I ran it for years, and never once did I have a problem with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think my next like dream mod to do with a car, and it probably won't be anything that we own right now, but I really would like to do like a coilover with air cup. Because I love how low your Supra is. I'm not like my balls aren't that big. I need something that can still help me get through like certain areas and stuff like that. But I see like Vin has it on his I think he has a 360, and that thing is like a miracle worker,
it's just like
especially in California where it's
my
like
God.
nothing is low friendly. So it's nice to be able to just like press the button, front air's up.
Yeah, it's that
go wherever
peace
you
of
need to
mind
go.
thing.
Why do you think air cups aren't more popular? Like Fortune Auto did it for a bit and was promoting it for a little bit, but it seemed
think-
like it never caught on.
I think it's because it's like you still have to go about like the same amount of like install, right? But you don't get
And
like the full
price.
and the price, and you don't get like the full functionality you do have like a full air kit. So I think anyone who like wants to go the route, they're like, well, fuck it, I'll just spend that much on an air kit and let's get the full thing. I think air cups, one, they're like completely misunderstood of like what they are.
Yeah.
They're not like
To lower
airbags.
your car.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna ride around on it like. Yeah, you're not gonna lower it, and you're not gonna ride around on it aired up or like, oh, I'm gonna slay. It's like they're either on or they're off. And they're usually on when you're going over like a speed bump or trying to get into an entryway or up onto some ramps or something like that. Like that's the purpose, just to give it a little bit of clearance and then you drop it back down.
Yeah, it's a very niche product. I think
it's
anybody who tries to offer that to somebody who's
It's tough.
I would say it's like they marketed it as it was for somebody that owned 2 cars or less, and I really think it's one of those products that's for people that own like 5 cars or more kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're so niche into why you would need that that a lot of other cars you never even need that. You got a really snubby front nose. You're fine. It's really the application. Like your car is where I think air cups would have really benefited, but you've just somehow made it work perfectly because the Supra's got such a long nose on the front of it where it's like, man, to have a couple extra inches just to get that thing over a speed bump would probably make it really easy.
There are
drive.
some places I avoid strictly because I know I can't get into the entrance, which sucks. It's annoying. I did interview a guy at Grid Life with a Mark IV Supra that had air cups on it, and he said that was his all-time favorite. I was like, check this out, and he showed it, and it was dope. It was super cool. So yeah, it's something I'd love to experiment with in the future too, especially, I don't know, being in this line of work, be able to talk more on it because I've never had it. I've never experienced it. I don't know. None of my friends have had it personally. Just talked to a few people that have had it, and I've never heard negative things. It's just, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're getting a quarter of actual air ride. So it's like, what do you...
Yeah, I think it's also just one of those things too. It's like, it's not really like a show piece. You're spending a lot of money on just a functionality thing.
To avoid driveways.
It's like a quality of life mod.
Yeah.
That's literally, and the quality of life mod, it's not even like quality of life. It's almost like
Quality of sometimes when I need it.
Quality of lip mod.
optional quality of life, maybe sometimes.
Depending on where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, with that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before letting y'all know about our official partner of the MartiniWorks Podcast, Continental Tire. Very thankful to have those guys and gals on board. If y'all have been driving around on Viking Contact 7s, you know exactly what they're about.
I have.
Good
That's me.
tires, great tires. But DWS06, ECS02 are also fantastic tires for their respective areas. We got to check out our warehouse. We got to see a lot of the wheel and tire packages that you guys and gals picked up from us during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Thank you so much for that support. Means the world. And to see you guys and gals picking up tires that we truly believe in, makes us so confident that you're going to have such a great experience with modding your car with us. And so if you've had a chance, you pick something up from us, just please don't forget to leave a review on the product on the website itself, so that other people that might be a little cautious about just a couple guys and a podcast talking about how great Continental is, if they hear it from you and you also love the Continental tires, that can sometimes help them out a ton. So absolutely fantastic tires, tons of sizes. Plus, we're getting ready for 2025. We got some really cool partnership stuff we'll be doing with them over the next 12 months, and we just want to say thank you for that. And if you're looking for Continental tires, you can do that over at MartiniWorks.com. We talked in the first section a little bit about car parts that we love the most.
Yes.
Over everything in the world.
Yeah.
First time I bought my first set of Japanese wheels, though, when I got them, I was actually really surprised at like the lack of
Everything.
Yeah.
Same.
What do you mean?
Well, here, if you guys don't know, if you're just going to listen in, we're going to try our best to explain it audibly as I unbox what do we got? A Graham Lights behind me?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy for people to think when you're spending more money, you get more. You get more packaging, you get more material, you get more, like, better everything. And that's not always true. Like, if you buy a wheel, even like from a more entry-level brand, you might even notice that a lot of times it's got more packaging and more padding and more everything. And so I just figured I would unbox it so I could show you some of the myths, if you will, if you do plan on getting a set of wheels from Japan.
You're going to
Dakota?
be shocked.
I will say that reps are packaged better than real wheels from
insane.
Japan. They are. That's just a fact. It is what it is. So a lot of times, like, we'll have orders come in, you'll see a little bit of like rubbing or what do they call it, cardboard rash.
Yeah.
On wheels from Japan,
'cause they're
expensive wheels. This one, honestly, I think Graham Lights are packaged better than like Volks.
So Graham Lights are definitely packaged better than Volks, and I would argue
it's the
they're
same.
better packaged than Work, too.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you get a set of Graham Lights, this is probably the best example. You're going to have 4 kind of cardboard L brackets that hold the top cover in place. These are really important for a couple of reasons. These L-shaped foam or like cardboard pieces help prevent movement inside the box. You have to remember when you're traveling with a box like, 2,000 miles, 2,000, sometimes 2,500 miles, you're going to experience a lot of that lateral movement. Doesn't sound like a big deal, except for you take that and you multiply that, 20, 30, 50,000 times, and that can actually rub paint off of a wheel. So they've got this nice little cover. This kind of helps hold it all in place. And then in the Graham Lights wheels, you get some packaging stuff. Is there English in there?
Yes.
Nice. So good stuff. You're going to want to keep that. In here, you're going to get one really flimsy, tiny foam piece that hopefully protects the entire front of your wheel. This is where things get tricky, because we'll have times where people will order stuff and they'll say, hey, it's got a little mark, or hey, it's got a little this, and they assume it's from everyone besides the actual manufacturer. And I hate to tell you that, but this is how they actually send it. And a lot of times this is where the rubbing can occur. So you're going to see, if you're watching, that there's an indentation of the diameter of the wheel, but you'll notice in one section it's actually cut off. So this foam padding didn't cover the entirety of the front of the wheel. You take that, you start rubbing it against stuff, and over time you can have those issues. Yeah. Now, underneath that, all you have is the... You need help?
I need help.
Big, strong man.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, with Graham Lights, they're what? Cast one piece, right?
They're full formed.
Full formed. So...
Well, yeah,
help.
cast, essentially. Here, hold on.
Help. You essentially just get the nice little thin piece of cover.
There's wheel weights on this one.
Yeah.
Exposed.
And there you go. Now you got your wheel. Now, this came back from a customer who we had to help out here a little bit, so we just ended up taking the wheel back. But you can see that is all there is to holding together a wheel inside of a Japanese wheel box, which is honestly $1,700.
And again,
right?
These ones retail, this set specifically was like $2,100.
$2,100.
Yeah. Honestly, this was one of the better packaging things that I've seen come out. Because what did we open that? I think it was the Advans.
Advan does not do a very good job.
Was it the GTs that we got? That was like green GTs.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And there was like a piece of cardboard and then the plastic bag. Like that was
this is like
for like a $4,000 set of wheels. It was crazy.
God, it makes me cringe. Like, how did these even get here? In
And
one
you take a
piece?
long time. You wait a long time for these wheels,
Yeah,
right?
it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, they have to be made, or like you got them special order, and you're waiting months, sometimes a year or more for these wheels to show up, and then it's like, oh yeah, I hope they get there okay because we put one piece of cardboard in it.
And that's where, like, if we were to unbox a Ferrata wheel box over there, I know that those wheels are not made in Japan, but I can almost guarantee you that those are better wrapped and better packaged than these wheels. For some reason or another, on the Japanese side, they just don't package things super duper well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but if you guys are ever wondering, like, if you do get a set of wheels and you kind of feel a little underwhelmed or you notice something like that, a lot of times that happens. Another thing to keep in mind, maybe a bigger myth, is on the back side of your Japanese wheels, you might notice a little bit of scuffing. And you might be saying, oh my God, these guys sent us wheels that were mounted or damaged wheels or anything like that. A lot of times that's not the case. If you notice when we were talking, we mentioned how there was that plastic cover and that styrofoam foam cover on the top. There was no foam cover on the bottom. You notice that?
Just a piece of cardboard. Actually, it's just 4 more of these.
Yeah, so essentially the bottom side of the wheel does not have the same level of protection as the top. And so what happens is that vibration, that movement, the wheel moves around a little bit. And cardboard is actually pretty abrasive when you use it 50,000, if it moves 50,000 times. And you might notice a little bit of that. Now, we're not trying to justify and say that every single imperfection is how it came from the manufacturer. That's not what we're trying to say. But what we are trying to say is you can see why sometimes people say, it's overhyped or it's not as good as you think it is because, well, quite honestly, the packaging here is not always the best.
I love them. I think, Ray's, Volk, Advan, make phenomenal wheels. I'm just blown away
That they don't protect them.
We're not going to give you center caps and we're not going to protect the wheel. Damn.
It is pretty wild.
It's crazy.
I do love these, though. I actually really, really wanted this exact set for my FRS when I had it.
Really?
Yeah.
If you guys are ever interested in picking up this set specifically, we'll put it in the link below because we actually have these in inventory. They were given back to us. They're new completely. They look awesome.
They just had some tires mounted on them. But yeah, other than that, I didn't think they were bolted to the car. I don't know what the true story was. They weren't even mounted to the car, though. Like, the back plate's completely clean.
Yeah, we just took tires off and now we got
18.5 38 5x100 in mag blue 2.
So what is that?
Perfect BRZ FRS fitment.
Yeah, and I think how much are we selling?
So these retail for over $2,100. I think we got them listed for $1,950 with free shipping. If you're interested,
and if you want a discount, say that you listen to the podcast, and we'll give you like a $200 discount.
Holy shit!
Jesus.
All right,
are you sure about that?
Podcast homies, get the hookup. Brand new set of gram lights.
I am now.
You said it. It's too late. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
That's my Christmas present to you. You get $200 off if you listen to the podcast.
I was checking to see if Carissa was giving you dagger eyes because she just did all the math on what these should be. But
yeah,
okay.
well, I just made it up.
All right. Damn. DM us. Let us know if you want these wheels.
With that said, I think on the other side of the fence, if you guys ever get overwhelmed when you are modifying your car, whether it be a more sophisticated car part and stuff like that, especially when you're getting it from overseas, like, don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask if we have any tips or tricks. I know there have been multiple times where I've gotten stuff for a lot of these cars, European cars included, that you get the instructions and you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What is this part? What does this part do? I don't understand. And then like you try like breaking it down and figuring it all out, and it can be a little daunting. So if you guys ever have any questions with that, just let us know. What, are you trying to steal those?
Yeah. Joel's wants them.
Joel's wants the 50.
I'm getting another $200. Getting another FRS.
57 DR versus CR. Which one are you guys picking?
I like the 5-spoke one.
That's DR, isn't it?
That's CR.
CR.
Neither T37s.
Now I gotta check. I always
the CR. I thought the CR was the 6-spoke. If you guys didn't know, that it also sucks.
We're professionals.
This
is CR. I was right.
The CR versus DR label is also silly and dumb.
Dude, well, it's just like fucking BMW with their 318
CR
IM package.
Yeah, CR is 5-spoke. You would assume DR would be like some sort of heavier duty version. They're like, nah, it's just 6-spokes. Same exact.
I like when stuff is just named, so I can remember the name. When you start just combining numbers and letters, and you have a bunch in the category, I'm not going to.
That's what makes it so easy. That's what it's like. Stage Monroe.
Yeah.
Stage Knight. Stage Fushi.
Yeah, and I remember all of those.
But when it's
start
like,
talking about gram lights, I don't fucking know. 57 CR, DR, DR Ultimate, DR Plus. Same thing with TE37s. There's 85 million TE37s with
The thing with
letters added.
gram lights specifically, everything is like 57 something. 57 Extreme, 57 CR, 57 and
it's the same thing with Volk. They're like, since we own this entire process, we're gonna make 9 million different limited edition models. We're gonna make them the rarest thing ever. Because MOQ's what? And they like look back to the fact, like, what's the MOQ on the TE37? And they're like, 40. Sick. We're making 40 magenta purple Porsche spec TE37s. We're gonna sell them for $6,000. And then like people in America are like, I'm fucking buying all of them. I'm buying them as soon as I can.
Why? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you own a Porsche? No, I don't. But I will, now that I have these wheels.
Raise.
Oh, God.
They were like, the 37 worked. That was phenomenal. We're going to make a whole separate brand called 57, and everyone's going to love it.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It did work.
When they're like half the cost.
And
Can I ask you guys a more serious question?
Oh, God. Depends on how serious it
No,
is.
only silly, goofy question, please.
What happens when you get a holiday gift from somebody who knows you're a car enthusiast,
No.
but it's not the right gift? What do you do?
Figure out how I'm going to use it.
So I'm going to give you an example.
Okay.
They give
what'd you
you
get?
that off-brand car care kit
Okay.
that they found at the Kohl's mid-aisle shopping.
Okay.
And it's got like all the
Yeah.
the wonky stuff. What do you do with it?
You throw it in the toolbox.
I was going to say, use it to clean the daily. Use it to clean something that's not automotive related, like my shovel
Okay.
Oh.
Clean your
or
shovel.
my fire pit
Oh.
or my grill, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know, something dirty that just
Yeah.
needs some type of cleaning device. But yeah, I don't know. You got to be careful with some of that car cleaning stuff. It's snake oil.
It gets really weird. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's always something you can pull out of there. Like, oh, I'll use this for that, use this for that. So
My greatest story will always go down as the time where my grandpa, who has since passed away, gave me a cleaning care kit that I kept since 2010. I think it was 2010. And I just kept it with me. Like, it's in the back. I never used it. I just more kept it as like this thing for my grandpa. And then last year, Becca decided to clean her car, detail her car, and she used my deceased grandpa's cleaning care kit. And then when I told her what she had done, she blamed me for still having it out and not labeling it.
labeling it. It's been in the same spot for 10 years. I thought it was fine.
Sorry, Grandpa Lloyd. The car looked clean. That was good.
Yeah, I mean,
It worked
at least
well.
It's getting used.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was about time for it
Yeah,
to be used.
yeah. I think you should use it.
What do you think is the greatest small automotive related gift you can give to somebody this holiday season?
Money.
That's lame though, dude. Like,
Sorry, well, it's true.
money's functional, but it's not
Okay,
creative,
here's the
dude.
problem with car gifts, automotive related gifts. They're all fucking expensive as hell, so it's tough. And they're so specific. If you're not into cars, you're not going to know to get fucking Fortune Autos with a Swift Spring upgrade. Like your grandma's not going to figure that out, no matter how much we tell her or how much she watches the videos. It's just not going to click, okay? So it's tricky, and really the best things are just good detailing stuff, I would say, like, because that stuff you always need, or a really nice set of microfibers, maybe like a little vacuum for cleaning out the car is a good one for car enthusiasts. Like the stuff you need but you don't want to buy because you want to buy the Fortune Autos with Swift Springs, so like you skip. Even honestly maintenance items wouldn't be terrible, but they're not going to know what weight oil you use. They're not going to know what filter fits your car. It's just money. Just fucking give them money.
I think the answer is car care stuff. I think
It really is. That's
like,
the default non-car enthusiast car gift.
Like, if you're listening to this, you're like, oh my God, what do I get my boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other? Go to MartiniWorks.com, go to chemicals, because we have them now, and buy some Malco car care products. Bundle that shit up, throw it in a little knapsack, and give that to your
Flash
holiday.
smells really fucking good.
Cherry Flash does
the
smell.
banana one.
I get kind of weird with fake banana stuff.
That's
like
Fake banana
Laffy
does
Taffy.
seem weird to me. I prefer cherry. I like lavender. It's also something some of my closest friends are deathly allergic to. So every time they start piping up, I just pull out the lavender cleaner.
And you're yelling at me about banana.
I want
Anyway.
McRib quick wax.
OTG is my favorite smelling thing from Elko. But no, seriously, if you guys do need it, it's not the cheapest, but it is good.
Also, I'm really impressed if you're not a car enthusiast and you're listening to this podcast right now.
No, because
That
you're
would be-
dedicated.
That'd be impressive.
There was a guy that came up to me at PRI this week, or last week, I should say, and not trying to be that guy. He was a little older.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
didn't quite understand where the conversation was going initially, and then he hit me.
Those
with
are always
it.
fun.
And then he hit me with it. He's like, "Yeah, been having a good time at this show. Good show. Love PRI. Not a huge fan of all these people walking around with cameras, but you know what can you do?
Oh.
Getting more popular, and I'm getting a little bit older. Which, by the way, love the podcast."
What?
And I'm like,
Hey!
"What?" And he's like, "Listen to MartiniWorks Podcast every Friday morning." He's like,
What's that?
I get out of bed, work on the shop. And he talks like this too.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
You're not,
Heavy
you're not
breathing.
roasting him right
The
now?
amount of breathing in and out was really
He's
gone.
listening.
He's
right now.
listening.
I
Alex.
know, but it's a
Would
truth
you say this
thing.
to his face? Because you're saying it to his face right now.
I know, but he's like, love the podcast.
I
I
love
want to
you.
let you know. And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I asked him if there's everything he wanted us to cover, and he looked at me and he goes, nope. Okay.
Hell yeah.
You're supposed to hear us yap.
Yeah.
Just
got
good background noise.
Yeah. So thank you for watching the podcast. It means the world.
Anyway, tools. Give me tools. I love
Oh, that's a good one. Duh.
And
No,
it's like, and it
that's
doesn't have to be anything crazy because yes, there's like the fucking like universal
Yeah,
socket.
those-
Don't do
get
that.
I got that
But it's
before.
like I don't know. Maggie's dad got this down, and I don't know why. He's got this shit down. My garage is funded by Gary Isham. He got me a Craftsman toolbox.
Dude,
Dude,
He
I
got
love
me-
that.
He got me the cordless Craftsman, like loves Craftsman stuff. Awesome, and it's been great. But it's not every now and then like he'll get like, unbox it, and it's like 3 magnet like bolt trays, and it's like, and people, are like, why would you want that for? Because I use those fucking every time I'm out in the garage.
it's always the stuff
All
you
the
don't
time.
think you need.
We were
but
working
then
on,
you
we
really
were
do
working
need.
on the Type R. Dropped the bolt way down in there. It was to the point it's like we gotta take the whole bumper off to get this bolt. And I was like, hold on a minute.
You got Gary tool.
I got a Gary tool, little extendo grabber tool.
So
Not
nice.
only did it get it out, but we were also able to then thread that bolt in with it from like a mile away from where it
Clutch.
needed to go.
Also, I want to say too, there's a lot of tool brand whores. You don't need to get the most expensive tool.
Yeah.
Every car I've ever built in my garage, I have used Craftsman's tools, and it's been perfectly fine.
Do not.
I've used Snap-on, and it's nice, but
Yeah,
you don't
I
need
get
to
it.
fucking
Yeah,
pay.
Milwaukee's also very
Yeah,
nice.
Milwaukee's super nice too.
I'm not going to look you guys in the eyes and say that I've ever bought a Milwaukee tool for retail price, though. Okay, that is the gift of the gods
Okay,
of the
well-
influencer brands that that have given me those.
Okay, that's
Listen, for me, look at me in the eyes. And if you're listening, pay attention. Nobody that has to pay for their own tools should ever give a fuck about what somebody else is using for their tools. Because as long as you got the tools, that's 99% of the battle.
Yeah.
Now, whether it breaks more often than not, that's a decision you're making by buying whatever it is that you have.
Well,
I've had the same Craftsman toolbox
Yes, you
and
have.
same Craftsman tools since I was 15, and every single time one of them ratchets break,
we-
I throw it in a little envelope, I slap it on the ass out,
You put a
and it
ratchet
comes
in an
back,
envelope?
and it comes back in a week, and guess what? Got a brand new one, lifetime war. I don't give a fuck that
Okay,
it
the
doesn't have
problem
the
with
Milwaukee
you,
tool.
Alex, is you have 4 tools total. That's the problem. I don't care what brand it is.
Yeah, but I'm
You got
married.
4
I'm married
total.
to Dustin, and because Wisconsin's
Who's got
a marital,
Milwaukee?
and because Wisconsin's a marital property state, I also have access to multiple Milwaukee tools.
That's insane.
Moral of the story: marry somebody who owns tools.
We're all a Craftsman household until we get around the Milwaukee stuff.
Big shout out Milwaukee Mike.
Oh,
Milwaukee Mike.
Wait.
big shout out
don't-
Milwaukee Mike.
Big shout out Milwaukee Mike for being
No,
the tool guy.
no, don't out Mike like that. Don't out Mike like that.
We love you, Mike.
Love you, Mike.
He just gives us all the good information on the
Yep.
tools. He's like,
He does let us know which tools to get.
and when, particularly, which is good. But for me, I don't care what tool brand. I don't care. I use
You don't care
anything
about tools, period. Don't got any.
I do.
Four.
I have Performax in
Dude,
some areas.
when we were working
I
out
have
of your house
Hitachi. I
and
have
doing car builds in your garage, that was a nightmare. Every time we had to go run to the store to get a tool.
You know what the most? You want to know the most like counterintuitive photo I've ever seen before is me balls deep in a Ferrari F430 with a Black & Decker tool.
Yep.
If that doesn't explain what the sort of toolkits I also the 24-inch extension. If I can put that on,
Okay, yes, that is the best tool you can buy. That thing comes with us everywhere, and it has solved multiple problems. I don't care.
bro, that on one of those little like swivel socket like heads is the best shit in the world. 24-inch extension with a couple of those, dude. I have 17 more joints in my toolkit because of that. I can finagle.
I can take out Nissan Z downpipes with that.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
Have done it.
Don't say
Won't do it again, but I have done it.
even when I don't need to use it, I use it just for the sake of comfort. There's been times where I've
fun.
stuffed that 24-inch extension through the back of the Ferrari just
Oh yeah,
just to
because
done. Good.
when we were doing the manifolds on that, we used it a couple times.
Yeah, we didn't need to.
No, we kind of did.
That's true. We did. There's a
But it's something just fucking hilarious about grabbing that big old bitch out of there
yeah.
and sticking it on like the tiniest wrench.
You do have an obligation to tell your parents who, if they are not car people, what not to buy as a car enthusiast, though, because otherwise, what's going to get them is the Kohl's mid-aisle winter pack.
Really
of
concerned about that.
random. Because I know, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've seen all this. Like, I have stuff that my mom has bought me and my dad have bought me where they kind of sort of get it, but not quite. And it's always like the multi-use extension tool that doesn't do anything at all. It's like the one that's got like the 8 different heads, and then you just rotate the head. It's one of like those multi-tools.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to like go get it? I'll show you because I
I know
still
what you're
have it.
talking about.
Those ones don't do anything.
Or
Just
you're
give
talking
me
about
like
that
a
weird,
mini
like,
socket.
Dog bone wrench thing that you have. Yeah, that is a weird one.
Yeah.
Well, I think instead of that stuff, you should just send them a link to Fortune Auto coilovers, the exact ones you want at MartiniWorks.com, because Fortune Auto is one of the sponsors of the MartiniWorks podcast, and Fortune Auto is on my car, and I've been driving that shit even in the winter.
Yes, you have.
Fuck it, runner.
And-
Oh crap! I said F word in the ad. Damn.
and Dakota is the closest
Cancel.
looking Santa Claus we have.
That's rude.
Why
I was
would
gonna
you
say
say
the,
that?
the beard.
It's the obesity. Anyways, Fortune Auto, upgradable, hand assembled in the U.S. We've seen it done. They do cover a wide variety. I remember when I first got into Fortune Autos, there wasn't a ton of applications there was for it. Now there's a really good amount. There's good chance they have them for your car unless you drive something fucking weird. And if that's the case,
Swearing.
if that's the case, you're gonna have trouble all through your life modding that damn car. You
Swearing.
gotta get a good one to modify. So check out Fortune Auto, because there's 2 things that start with F that I love: the word fuck and Fortune Auto.
We'll be right back.
So California will have the right to ban the sale of gas cars by 2035.
Oh, it moved back.
Ban the sale. So does that mean new cars, or does that mean all sales in general?
New gas cars.
Okay.
So new. Okay.
So they'll just be able to say, nah, you can't. No, no, no.
2035. So only EVs can be sold new off the lot.
Yes.
What about hybrids? Does that work?
Apparently, it says gas in the title.
So do you think like there will be like a surge in dealerships popping up that are only selling like pre-leased vehicles that have like 2,000 miles on them?
You would think, right?
There's got to be some
There's
workaround.
loopholes. Yeah, what if they go drive it off the lot so it has 10
It's not
miles
new.
on it?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Fuck it.
Yeah, they're like all like new vehicles, but they have like one owner because they're like a lease car or something.
Doesn't that seem kind of weird? Being told
I just-
what you can't buy.
I mean, yeah, of course. But
Well, I don't
just
get it.
can't see it happen.
California doesn't even have the power grid to withstand all EV cars. While I was there was signs like "Turn off your air conditioning at 6 p.m." I'm like, what the fuck?
Like
you
I
serious?
don't mind doing stuff like if there's a younger individual I met at PRI who was talking about how he was going to school, he was developing and he was studying like hybrid electric with internal combustible engine chemicals. And what he was trying to do is he was in school to combine both EVs and engines, right?
Yeah.
and finding new sustainable fluids for to replace gasoline and stuff like that.
Oil and
yeah,
that
and
stuff.
oil and
Okay.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems very cool. That seems like something we are going to need to have at some point
Yes.
in our life. I feel like you're in the right state of mind, finding a way to kind of bridge the whole thing together. And then I read these stories and it's like you either have to be pro or anti. There's no in between. It's like, well, I feel like the in between is probably like the most
place to
realistic
be,
answer,
yeah.
right? I don't know. It seems weird to me. Anyway, I don't plan on moving to California anytime soon.
Nope.
I don't know how car enthusiasts live in California.
I don't know
To be
either.
clear, I don't know how you guys do it. It's shocking.
yeah,
we
the-
can't even sell an intake over there.
Weather's great. You can drive all year round, but at what cost?
Yeah, dude. I remember talking to them guys out there, and they're like, "Yeah, car got state roughed, an intake, and
it's
it got
insane.
impounded, and it
We-
was like $15,000 to get it back." It's like, what are you?
It was nuts. When we went out to
That's not fun.
FD Long Beach, I went with you, and we interviewed a bunch of car enthusiasts at the show that was also within FD Long Beach. And literally, that was like the same, the same exact story. Yeah, it's being great. Like the car scene is crazy out here. I love it. It's a pain in the ass though every year. And we're like, yeah, who's your
guy?
smog guy? And they're
Who's your daddy?
like Ricardo. Down the street. or I take it somewhere. Oh, it's not registered. And it's like it was everything. It was just the workarounds was the longer story. It's like, oh, what do you got done to your car? This. Oh, how did you do it? Oh, well, I had to go to this guy, and then this, and then because of this, I had
Or
to
I
get it
have it
registered here, and I got to
registered
order my
in
parts to
Montana.
this guy to get it. And it's like, holy Christ, dude! It's like I think every single person we have is like, why do you live here? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Can't-
there was
I can't
never-
afford to leave.
There was never a time where somebody from California who was under the age of 25 was like, no, dude, this place,
They all
top of
hated
the
it.
line. They're like, no, I want to move to Texas. Everybody that I talked to was like, I'm moving to Texas when I can. I'm
Dude, it
like,
was so-
it makes sense now.
It was so funny. I went out there it was the same year I went out for FD Irwindale, and I did like a Turo thing. The guy dropped it off at the airport, and I was kind of shooting the shit with him because he was like a car guy, and he's like, yeah, I got like 2 or 3 cars that I rent out through Turo. And he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here though. He's like, I moved here from, I can't remember where. He's like, I'm going to Texas. He's like, dude, this shit's crazy out here. He's like, I just had someone like yesterday total one of my cars because they were just like out of their fucking mind, like drunk or something like that. He's like, I got to deal with all that shit now. He's like, I'm getting out of here. I can't do it anymore.
Jeez.
I got another question for you guys.
Yeah.
And chat, if you're listening, you want to drop a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. I see a thread here. It says, how Stellantis destroyed Jeep. But my question to you is, what manufacturer do you think butchered a car the worst?
Ooh.
I mean, the EV Mustang is up there, I would say.
I feel like it's all Dodge. I feel
Yeah.
like they. Oh God, yes, Stellantis in general, Dodge, whatever the fuck you want to call it nowadays. Yeah, they the Dart.
I will never forgive Dodge for what they did to the Dart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody deserved what they did to the Dart
yeah.
ever.
Just they could have just did a third, I guess, generation neon.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Just kept the neon going.
But
It
they're
would
like,
have been
no,
cool.
we're bringing back the iconic nameplate in the cheapest fucking way possible.
Dodge Fart.
To be fair, the when Chevy brought back like the Blazer, that was stupid. I think the execution of that was so bad. And then I thought it was hilarious how like a year later Ford's like, here's the Bronco again, and it fucking slaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember all the memes like the GM headquarters the next day in the design like meeting. They're like, guys, what the fuck?
I would say Ford is a brand that I would like to get closer to in like the next like year or two, just because I feel like what they're doing with some of their newer stuff and their older stuff is really good on the domestic side of things. Now, obviously, there's still like Japanese brands doing the same stuff, but like the Bronco, I think, not the sport version, the just normal Bronco,
Yes,
I think is like a really good
I like the
looking SUV. I think it looks hot as hell. And then the new Ford Mustangs, I think, look
Good.
really good. I think what Ford was doing with a lot of like the racing stuff with the GTD program, I think is awesome. They have a little bit of something for everyone, and I really do like it. Even like the new Ford trucks, I think look pretty darn good. They can haul a ton too, even though they're like smaller versions.
Just $100,000, but yeah.
We don't talk about that, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Ford be making some good stuff recently.
Yeah.
I still would rate it domestically. I'm going to try and do this on a whim. I didn't think about this.
You're good. Just let her rip.
Cadillac, still at the top for me.
So, Cadillac, Chevy.
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cadillac still at the top. Ford.
Okay.
Okay. Then after Ford, Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Then 2 kilometers of space. Everyone else.
You gotta say
What the
miles.
fuck is a kilometer?
We're talking domestic. To use
At
why would
least
you
use American terms.
4 miles.
Okay.
And then Stellantis.
So Dodge
Yeah.
and everything Jeep.
But
What about
Viper?
Tesla?
But Viper goes up there probably below Chevy. Where does Tesla belong?
Yeah.
Above Stellantis, easily.
What is Stellantis?
It's the huge conglomeration of all of that. So it's like Fiat, isn't it? Fiat
I mean, they used to call it like Mopar, right?
Yeah,
Or
and then it
like-
was like Chrysler, Fiat, America. It was fucking,
I've never heard Stellantis until today, right now.
Really?
At this very moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
The
conglomerate.
fact
of
that
it.
you don't know it is probably a good sign that they're in a lot of trouble because that's how they brand themselves when they mention like their whole family of brands.
I ain't looking at too much over there, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
You're not
It's just
looking at Jeeps?
no.
What about Ram trucks?
Dude, Ram is good in the way that it's positioned. The problem is everything else around it I think is really bad. Like I like Rams. They look good. I think they trim better than Fords. The only problem is they're so goddamn expensive.
They are.
So, Ram is separate now, right? Isn't it its own entity?
Yes.
Yes, but it's
Ish.
Like
still
Jeep?
under Stellantis.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like Jeep is its own
Yep,
thing.
yep.
Now, like, why does Dodge take like their best stuff and they're like, okay, separate that?
I think for the very reason that we're scared that Dodge doesn't know what they're doing. They're like, hey, if at least we send old Yeller out by himself, at least that will sell.
Like, I'm surprised Hellcat isn't its own fucking.
Honestly, I am surprised too.
But a lot of brands have done that. Chevy
Yeah.
did that with
Well,
they
Genesis.
They were trying to do it with the Corvette. Like they were trying to make the Corvette its own
Yeah.
offshoot
It's just
brand,
why do they do that though?
so that they can introduce a nameplate in different chassis types. Like, and that's what they've done with a lot of different stuff.
What do you mean by
Like,
that?
So the Corvette, they wanted to introduce the electric version. They wanted to introduce
okay.
the sedan version. They wanted to introduce this like performance branded,
Yeah.
more affordable Cadillac. And then they're like, that makes no fucking sense.
We have Cadillac.
We have Cadillac at home. And
Literally.
and so, you know, I think Hyundai did it with the Genesis brand because
And I
they
think
wanted
they did
to
it-
really split off from the quality, but they went up.
Yes. It
You
was
know?
like it was kind of like, when Toyota went with like Lexus. Like it's that like upper trim.
Yeah, but the thing was, there wasn't a Toyota Lexus car, and you're like, oh, that's a nice car, and then all of a sudden it became its own thing.
I feel like
that was
Hyundai-
like two. That was an American brand and a Japanese brand that were split for marketing.
100%.
Yeah,
Like
Japan
Honda and
brought
Acura.
it in.
That's different than Dodge Ram going to Ram.
Yeah.
And Hyundai
Yes,
Genesis.
the Dodge
going
did
to
it super weird. I'd say
Genesis.
Hyundai did it the best. in my
Yeah, I
opinion.
agree, and it made sense because everyone there's like a bad stigma, and maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is with the Rams. I know for the longest time, Rams and their transmissions were the fucking worst thing. So I don't know if they did to kind of split that up or what. Because with Hyundai and Genesis, the Genesis is getting, I don't know, it was always looked at a little bit less. I think because Hyundai went through some
Mm-hmm.
shit, and there was a lot of bad publicity about Hyundai and reliability and cheap parts, blah blah blah. So to separate now, when you see like one of them sedan Genesis, you're like, holy
Crazy.
fuck,
I
that thing looks
want-
like luxury.
Yeah, I want a GV70. When I got to drive one, I still believe the best infotainment system I've ever used was in a GV70. I don't know what it was. I literally got in and I went to go connect my phone to like the Apple CarPlay, and it took me the least amount of time. Never been in the vehicle before, never used it before, never used the dial before, any of it. Started the car, tried it, got immediately where I needed to go, connected. I was like, that was nice.
I've heard really good things about them.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad at all. I would still prefer my 90s Toyota shitboxes, but, you know,
Yeah, I ain't buying one anytime soon, but
No,
glad
no.
people enjoy them.
yeah.
When I see ya in a Kia, what car had the best like advertising?
Mazda, zoom, zoom.
Zoom Zoom.
It was
Done.
iconic.
I knew that even as
Yeah.
a kid when I wasn't like I didn't know everyone knew Zoom Zoom.
Mazda
That was
had-
a good one.
I feel like Mazda's always had the best like emotional connection to like a normal human being with their commercials.
I think Honda makes some fire ads. To be honest with you,
Honda does too.
there is some modern commercials that Honda have done where I stop and I watch. I'm like, damn, that's a good fucking commercial. I think Honda does a really good job.
I like Nissan's Super Bowl commercial where it was the kid and the dad was growing up to be a race car driver, and then his kid got to see him like racing on the TV, and then you'd crash, and it was scary.
This one's not very good because I can't remember the main.
And then it ends with the Nissan Altima, and I was like,
what the hell?
yeah.
Okay, well,
But it
that's
was
a
a good
nice story.
commercial. It was very like.
What was the one? There's a Super Bowl one with the kid, and he's dressed up as Darth Vader.
I was literally
and
just
he's
thinking
like,
that.
That's Volkswagen.
Was it Volkswagen?
Yeah,
They
I'm
killed
almost
it.
convinced that was
shit.
Volkswagen.
I don't think it was Volkswagen.
I'm almost-
Look it up. Look it up. Now I need
want
to
to take
know.
bets. I feel like it was Chevy.
I feel like it
No.
was.
I think it was Chevy.
I don't know. I think it might have been domestic. It was not Volkswagen. I don't think.
If it's Volkswagen, that'd be sick.
But that commercial, so obviously, again, though, it wasn't.
Volkswagen 2011 Super Bowl commercial with the Jetta.
I told you it was Volkswagen.
I mean, it's hell yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was iconic.
Luke,
I mean,
I am your Faja.
yeah, you can't not talk about the crazy Volkswagen commercials of like the mid 2000s.
They had that shit on
Yeah,
lock.
beat up in the house.
Yeah.
And then they
It's
ended up-
time to pimp your ride.
Bro, what's crazy to me is like that was the best branding Volkswagen ever had. And then they got caught in Dieselgate, right?
They're like-
and ever since then, their commercials have sucked. It's always been like,
Except for the Darth Vader one.
we understand the importance of diesel emissions,
Yeah.
and we promise to do better as a company for you.
Well, let them dig themselves out a little bit. Once
No,
they're in the
I want a
clear, they'll,
funny
they'll
fucking
bring the guy back and be doing the VDOV in the house. Those were the best. But, I mean, another iconic commercial is like the Kia Soul with the hamsters.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Trying to think of what other ones were really, really good.
Not too many auto manufacturers go like the funny route. They're usually like super.
Yeah, they're
serious,
super like they try to
dark
pull the
lit,
heart.
city night driving.
That or they like try to pull at the heartstrings a lot, especially
Yeah.
around Christmas
Yes.
time.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching freaking Packers last night.
Go
and
Pack, go.
Maggie cried at probably like 4 different automotive commercials because they like have a dog that they
Yeah.
found or something like that.
The pitch, all the ones that GR's done with Toyota
Yeah,
have
That
been
was
really
awesome.
good.
Yes, I can't believe I forgot about
I
that
like
one.
that one, and the one where it's the marketing's trying to like pitch
Yes.
the commercial, and they're like, and then they're gonna jump the car, and the guy's like, I don't understand how this shows the value of the
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
Like they're already jumping the
Yeah.
car in the commercial. I
That
love
one
it.
was so sick.
That was
That
a
was
good
a
one.
super good commercial.
the George Washington Challenger commercial.
Oh,
was
that
awesome.
was an iconic one.
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago now.
Holy
that commercial's
shit.
awesome.
That one was so fucking good. What happened? Man, we need to get some good commercials going again. That one was a banger.
Yeah, the commercials used to be fun and funny. Now they're so,
Serious.
yeah, we commit to making ourselves better as a company. Fuck that shit. Show me George Washington in a
Yeah,
fucking challenge.
Yeah, do some fuck shit.
Yeah, I want to see him fucking blasting through a mountain. What do you mean?
Oh fuck! I want to go watch all these again because that was sick.
Trying to think if there's anything else. Volkswagen always had good ones.
Volkswagen always did.
I do think, yeah, Mazda is still one of those brands I always look back at, though, and I'm like,
Zoom, zoom.
I just remember it. It was just such an iconic tagline. Zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
Mazda.
Yeah, why they was zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom.
I remember it was super cool when I was going through the glove box of the RX-8 and I found it was like the owner's manual and it had like a poem like about what zoom zoom meant. And it was really cool. Like they were all in on that shit, like, and they used it for a long time. It was cool.
Not no more.
I know more. Bring it back. Bring back zoom zoom.
Yeah, it's Mazda. Mazda got to do something. They got to pick it up here. Come on, let's go.
Maybe like
we got the
another-
Miata. We know what's next.
Rotary
Come on.
car.
Yeah, SP. Iconic SP is going to be next. Let's see what happens. You guys will have to let us know what your thoughts are on the podcast below. And, of course, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. If you're looking for car parts this holiday season and you need some help on the financing side, you can do that over at MartiniWorks.com. And, of course, we're always here to help you out. Make sure you get the right parts for your car. Hope you enjoy it. And, of course, we're super excited to announce that we now have Melco detailing products on the website as well. So if you're looking for some car care, whether that's waterless car wash, you're looking for wheel and tire cleaner, all the good stuff.
Got some kits.
We've
too.
used Melco for about a year and a half now. And
Yeah,
we've
I used it all
absolutely-
year.
We've used it and abused it to kingdom come. And we did that because we didn't want to just put another chemical company out there on a website to sell that we didn't actually like. So these are all brands. These are products we've all used, we all like. They have more stuff out there, but we only chose the things that we felt we had a good enough experience on to say that we enjoyed.
And you can actually use on like a regular basis.
Yeah,
Not
normal
Not have to
application.
own like a detail shop or something.
Yeah. So if you guys have questions on that, let us know below. And of course, thank you so much for listening and hope you're subscribed. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.